Okay, Lara, influencers is one of my favorite topics, if you will. Sometimes they come in a minute, sometimes they come in a lifetime. One of my first influencers, I tell the story a lot. When I was younger, my grandfather, my grandparents were from Kyiv, my mom and my aunt were from Kyiv. That's a whole conversation in itself. But he used to take me for walks in the park in Montreal. And one time I asked him, I'm Jewish, I said, Zeta, how do you know all these people? And you kind of, with your parents, you kind of reminded me a little bit of him. He would say, I didn't know any of them, but I smiled at one, and then he smiled back at me, and then he started talking to me. So I talked to him, and another one, and it was so simple. And as a 6-year-old, I kind of understood it, but you understand it even more as you go along. He was influenced by someone just being kind to him and smiling back. He was influencing by smiling to the person, and all of a sudden he's got a community of that all sorts of things are happening. So can you share with us like 2 or 3 people that have been influencers in your life?
Well, I think that I can tell that one influencer was my grandfather, the Japanese one. I remember that once when I was like, I think that it was 12 years old or something like this, my grandmother has passed, and then he used to sleep at our house, and then we used to rotate to keep him company. And I remember that I was in this struggle that I wanted to be happy, but life was so difficult, and I had always this pursuit of happiness. And then one day in a talk to him, I was telling, what is to be happy? You are happy, you are smiling the whole time. And what is to be happy? And then it was so funny because he just told me, Lara, the younger you get wise, the longer you will be happy. And I told, what? He told, yeah, some people wait to be wise when they are 80s, and then they become happy, but then it's very short time. But you are able to learn very young what is to be wise. And when you get what is to be wise, you will be happy much more time. So then for me, it was like deciding live with my spirituality and purpose in the work and every place. And I feel that I was happy for a longer time. And this is my mother's father. And then my mother, of course, she was another influencer, absurdly much, because my mother was a genius. She was a medical doctor. She did physics, mathematics, law. She was reading all of the things about spirituality. She was mixing Tao with quantum physics, and she was giving me all of these books. And when I entered in administration, she started to lead administration books to suggest to me. So she was like this. And she was a happy person. She was a person that my father was telling, you have to be the best whatever you do. And my mother was telling, you have to be happy. So by the end, I ended up being the best on being happy. so and my father was the other influencer, because my father, he is a medical doctor. He lives his profession until today. He's 81 years old, and he still sees people. He wants to help hospitals, and he is the example of you should work your whole life because this should be your pleasure. So I think the 3 of them like kind of build me to what I am today.
Man, you got all the smart people in your family. It's unbelievable.
I am lucky. I am lucky, yeah.
Well, we're lucky that you shared them with us. There's an expression, you'll never work a day in your life if you love what you do. And
yes.
It sounds like that's what they're sharing. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's really beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.